All right, we're into the final stage, the knockout stage of Sumanguru Bracket, where we have Glockter versus Dolphin. And today I'm joined with the wonderful Xved, or just Ved, or Xved, or Xvedejas. However you want to say it. How you doing? Good to see you.
Any way you say it, great to be here. I am supposed to be working right now, but I'm taking a break, and that's fine
Yep.
for Age of Empires. But yeah, excited to see these two players because one of them is moving on to play Twoggle, and then one of those two will be a finalist, right? Which I have
Mm-hmm.
the possibility of playing against if I defeat Filster this Thursday.
Right. I'm looking forward to that. The game so much. Like, as I have Filster. It's been around a lot. Obviously you and all the others. That's gonna be really, really Twoggle. The two-ton Twoggle and stuff like that. So it's difficult for me because I get attached to people, and then it's like, oh, you're knocked out. That's it. Bye. you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I see Twuggle practicing every single day, pretty much. So that's intimidating.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, is everything good on your end with Discord and stuff? Like seeing the screen and just kind of
Yeah, yeah.
sweet.
Comparing it with the Twitch stream, which I also have open, and it looks like just a second or two behind on the Twitch side.
All right. Sweet. I'm just getting the audio right. And, yeah. We have the Georgians versus the Chinese. Obviously, we've seen Chinese a lot today, just in the last game and a few other sets as well. It seems like everyone's just picking the Civ today for. So I hear there's like a harder opening to it, right? Like you have to do more with the
Yeah.
villages.
Well, what I'd say is I've been playing Chinese more recently also, and the new drop-off key, hotkey, has definitely made the Chinese opening easier.
Okay.
It's one of these civs where, because you start, I think it's with less food and then extra villagers, you need to drop off your food from the sheep earlier than the villagers would naturally drop it off in order to make your first villager. And that's kind of like the main extra thing that you have to pay attention to at the start. Why it can be annoying for someone if they're not familiar. You have to remember to do this to have good uptime. But now I just hit a key and it does it for me instead of having to select villagers and not mess anything up, you know?
I think these small quality of life improvements are a good thing. I don't know. I just think they're gonna just help just the small annoying bits just be rounded off a bit to make the game more enjoyable type thing. I know there's some people who don't like the QOL changes, but so like there's another one as well with like auto farming where you can hold shift on the TC and it's just gonna automatically place farms. I've been asking everyone like how do they feel about it? So how do you like feel about the new implementation on the farms?
Yeah, I think in terms of like the game strategically, it's not a huge difference, right? That's how I'm guessing so far, but I haven't tried it. I don't know
Right.
how it feels. I bet T90 will love it.
Yeah. We won't know which
His
one is
games,
T90 anymore. Yeah. Maybe there should be like a neutral island archery range prevention method added as well. But
Right, yeah. Just a big sign on each of the islands that says whether they are the neutral island or the enemy island. I think that's what he needed in that game.
um, accidentally killed the deer there. Maybe I don't know. I gotta rewind to that because
Yeah.
the hunt kind of got pushed in right as they hopped into the TC, and it seems like they struck the deer instead. That's yep.
Yeah, I'm wondering what would cause that. Must just be an unintentional click.
Yeah. So it is the first game of the quarterfinals. Well, you would know, because you've played in them already, and like maybe it's like nerves or something, or just like trying to be faster than you can be and stuff. Obviously everyone wants the opening first game to just kind of ease nerves, but yeah.
Yeah, for me so far, all of my nerves are kind of before playing, right? I in anticipation, have been somewhat nervous, in the 30 minutes before actually playing.
Oh yeah.
Um, well, and then probably the first 5 minutes also, but after that, so far, I've been able to get in the zone and focus on my strategies.
That's good. That's good. I've seen quite a bit where people just, it seems to be like not so much a rough start, but just small mistakes right now for Dolphin, and just kind of like, missed out on some sheep there. It's not game entered or anything, just a little small.
Right. Yeah, and it's annoying to have to click, however many vills that was, 10 or so, onto a single deer. That's not ever going to be efficient. There were some vills just standing around. He's not under his TC with the sheep.
Yeah.
All these things add up, especially starting to get around, our group's elo. We're all kind of on the verge of 1100. We have to start paying attention to things that feel more minor, but add up to things like quicker up times.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. As I said, like it's something I've noticed as well watching. It's like when you get to like around 1100, 1200, you start to notice like just it's like a ceiling, like a skill ceiling where things just start to go to the next level. If that makes sense. I kind of like seeing that.
Right. Yeah, and I've learned some things in the practice of this tournament. Playing practice sets and just kind of listening to better players when they have advice. Hera has this great video recently called "How to Win at Age of Empires." I imagine a lot of people have seen this, but there's one particular thing I took away from it that I hadn't thought of before, which is Hera says you should actually go to berries before sheep a lot of the time, and the reason is while berries are slower to gather, you want half of your food bills on boar, which is the fastest. But the other half of your villagers in Dark Age, you shouldn't also put them on boar. That'll cause crowding. They'll be inefficient.
Yeah.
But you also shouldn't put them on sheep because the sheep are going to decay. So you really only want one dead animal under your town center at a time. So that's kind of why you go to berries. You build your mill for your building to get up, and you split up the mass of villagers to continue to gather. It's a lower gather rate, but you're doing it in a way that's going to be efficient because villager pathing is, especially these days, I feel like super important. The villagers get stuck on things. So that was interesting to me, and I think that can be the difference between having maybe 30, 50 more food when you do end up in feudal, which can mean an extra scout or two, right?
So this game is quickly actually really devolving to super messy.
Yeah.
We got scouts rushing in. We got triple freaking archery ranges.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is suddenly. You did say Dolphin did do the forward archery range review, right?
Definitely did an archer rush. I don't remember.
Freaking
Definitely nothing this extreme. I mean, I'm wondering if he's going to have the economy to produce out of 3 archery ranges simultaneously.
Does get a whole bunch fetched out, but that's right because your economy is now being hit. And what do you need to make archers again? Is it wooden food?
Wood and gold.
Oh, wood and gold. Okay. It seems like he's just gonna go 50-50.
There's a lot on each, I suppose. Not going for food at all. This is an all-in play. He's not going to be able to make bills. Very interesting.
Sometimes you just, when life gives you lemons, you gotta make limeade or whatever.
He's got fletching, so any vill that gets close to that, just 2 hits.
I was forced to make a tower for Glockta, and the problem is that obviously if this falls flat, then you're like, oh, well, this is awkward. Now you do have the element of surprise at least. We see how Glockta reacts to this. I just imagine Glockta like, look at these scouts, we're killing your villagers, and then all of a sudden, oh no.
Yeah, so the KD is definitely in Dolphin's favor already.
Yeah.
However, Dolphin, again, going all in, resource collected is a lot lower. But worker efficiency is higher, so I think the aggression is paying off right now.
He's got to stand under this tower. That's right.
Very smart.
Another village. Oh, I don't. Maybe the villagers are forced to fight
And
back.
Glocta cannot make a second tower. No stone left for that. Don't see a market either, unless it's off to the left. But no gold either. So
I kind of. That was it. It was just straight all in.
Wow.
Just 1-0 Dolphin. Now the problem is he's not going to be able to do this again, right? Because obviously, well, he might be able to. But obviously, Glocta's like, okay, this person just went all in on me, so I'm gonna maybe second game be like, oof. Now I'm gonna be more defensive or trying to like more scouting, right? So I think second game's gonna be very interesting. That was the quickest quarterfinal we've seen actually, which is insanely. Man just won on 13 villagers. Yeah. Wow, insane.
I think if Glocta had finished walling, that could have helped a lot.
Just buying the time, right? But kind of like I say, focused on making the scouts to just try and hit this woodbine, and then the scouts obviously died, and it's insane.
Yeah, that's another thing I've found at my skill level I need to improve on is, yes, it's great to have some feudal pressure. You really do not want to lose your feudal army. Your feudal army needs to be protected from whatever response there is. If they're fighting your scouts back with 10 vills, you need to run away. You need to keep pestering.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to just say like, oh, I did feudal pressure, check that box, and then let your scouts die.
As I kind of like watching a lot of the games, I realized just how like more important it is just to keep them alive. Just as you said, like it just adds the pressure there. People probably get like more like blindsided, like, oh, I need to get kills. I need to kill the villagers. I really need to kill the villagers. But again, I feel like keeping them alive is much more important than actually killing villagers because you just keep them off the resources just for that extra longer, right? So.
Yeah. As far as Dolphin goes, I mean, very good play. I do think the triple range is a bit extra.
Yeah.
I think with the double range, he would have had more wood and could have added maybe 4 more archers. Right? Like with that fast of a play, it's hard to say, but it's surprising to me and shows that he really wanted to commit to an aggressive play. So I'm hoping we see that here in game 2.
Yes.
Could be very fun.
Well, here we are. Game number 2. Is this going to be as short as the first one? Or is Glocta going to, just be like, oh, wait, we can't afford to lose this because otherwise we're going to be knocked out and I don't want to be the quickest to be knocked out. So, yeah, so Dolphin. Wow. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Glocta as the Malians and Dolphin as the Khmer. So,
Now, Cup is a game I've watched a lot, but I've never played it in this tournament, actually.
Oh, okay. There was one variation I seen it before where like this side was completely mutated on top of the cup, and it was like the water was like out. I was like, oh my lord, what? But yeah, it's been some interesting plays. Some people like to control the bottom half, right, and then other people like to obviously go for the more longer, control the top half of the cup to get the gold, relics, and control. Obviously, the shorter side is more direct to their base, of course. Yeah, there's been some interesting games. I really get to see Cup anymore, to be honest. So it's nice to be able to see her again. It's kind of Boris, kind of middle of nowhere. But,
I hope we get some statistics on this tournament at some point. Broken down by the elo levels, like how often was some map picked, maybe also how often were the maps played, because it's best of 3, best of 5, some maps are picked and not played. I wonder which maps people are really afraid of. Like, I never play Gold Rush, for instance. I've never seen anyone pick it. I've never practiced it because I don't expect someone to pick it. I may be giving too much info to my future opponents here, but there's definitely some maps are really popular, right? I think like Bay has been played a ton.
Quarry, I guess, also picked a lot, I noticed. And
Right.
well, also, it's kind of like the elo range, right? Because higher players tend to have a tendency to pick different maps than the lower players. As like each bracket is like have their own picks. So that's also
Right.
comes into it.
What's the trends you're seeing? Is it kind of a classic lower elo prefer more closed maps to feel safer?
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, yeah. I think that's just generally. Yeah, I do see a lot of. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Trying to put my. Trying to think here, and using my brain is difficult sometimes.
That said, one of the most closed maps, Bypass, that map
Yeah.
kind of scares me a bit because the first time I played it, of course, I was up against Turks and they did a fast Imperial age and destroyed me. So anytime that map is picked, I'm banning Turks.
Yeah. 100%. That's. I've seen that a lot actually happen. I've seen people execute it well, and I've seen people execute it probably not so well. And, you know, I think a lot of them have seen Hera do it on the Hidden Cup, and they're like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna try and do it now as well." I mean, like,
Okay, so I want to look at how Dolphin has 0 on wood and is going up to feudal. 0 on wood. So what's the plan?
all on gold, all on food.
Right, but you can't build 0 production buildings, so you can't build an army, right?
Villager rush.
And yeah. You can't build like your market in blacksmith either with no wood. So that feels like kind of a dead end unless Dolphin's about to move, 10 villagers to wood or something.
Right, that's true. Well, kind of a weird play actually. That Dolphin is more of a unique character, I guess. So, well, yeah, I really wish I got to cast more Sumanguru games, but as I say, trying to cast everything was too difficult. I tried. I gave my best shot.
There's a lot of games, yeah.
Mm.
But there will be fewer. You could probably do all the finals, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty much very close to doing all the quarterfinals already, so that's nice. But I like to see like all the different players how they play. If they're gonna play like normal, defensive, boomy, and there's some players who have really stuck out to me, and yeah. Dolphin is definitely gonna be one of those players who I'm gonna remember.
Right. Yeah, I'm really curious. I guess is the idea to run out of sheep and then put everyone on wood? You can't even build a lumber camp, so it'll have to be the straggler trees.
Right. Yeah, there we go. Onto the straggler trees. This.
Oh, right. Khmer can go up without the buildings. That's the play.
Wow.
I'd forgotten.
And like so exposed, just doesn't care. So like wherever, we're just going all in. But this is the problem, just slight problem. Obviously, the straggler trees and stuff, trying to get around. Glockter must be seeing this and thinking, "What the hell? You barely go up to feudal and it's like castle age tree. Huh? What? That's gonna be like quite a mind game for Glockter. You know, you just get
Castle Age.
You just get blitzed in game 1, and then suddenly you see your enemies in like 10 minutes in the game, your enemies in castle, and you're like, okay, now war is going on here. That's
Yeah, so this is clearly a prepared strategy here.
Yes.
I would say Twuggle, if you're watching, watch out.
Dolphin is doing dives, I guess. Yeah, that's the best I could come across.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, if this pays off and he wins, he'll be up against Twuggle, I believe, if I remember the bracket right.
And it'll get me it'll be one really quick set where I can one game closer to covering all the quarterfinals. But of course, though, that's not all. I want to take my time anyway. I don't want to be rushing anyways. But just interesting to see this, right? Now knights come up.
Knights immediately. Yeah, don't need wood for knights.
If you've seen this personally in game, you've seen somebody who was up to castle age in 10 minutes, or 11, 12 minutes, whatever, would you be like, what? Or would you kind of...
Right now, I would be thinking I'm very far behind.
Yes.
Looking at looking at Glokta's resources.
Mm.
I would definitely want to be in castle soon. Yeah, this is really rough. I feel like the spears. See, the spears are actually weaker than the knights. So Glokta has a choice here: either mass spears faster than the knights are coming, right? Or get up to the next stage, make monks, I guess. Neither of those seem very easy to do right now. So
Again, put that freaking deer. You try and get that deer. That deer is paid.
right, and we see Dolphin pulled back the weaker knight from the spear, so he's microing here. See that? He's running circles around.
He's really serious about trying to take this second game as well. Obviously, all players are serious,
Right.
but
Saving his units, even the weak ones.
oh, you can guess like maybe... Oh, just loses a knight.
Ooh, so close. But yeah, if he pulls away the weak one, makes one monk, that kind of becomes a free scout again.
Yeah, that's right. Deer sabotage.
Italians built a range, but I think that plan needs to be abandoned.
Again, another all in. Knight's kind of running into traffic a bit, kind of.
Yeah, so the downside for Dolphin is that he doesn't have any upgrades, he doesn't have any armor. I think running under the TC could be a mistake if Glokta were to
Garrison
more reliably here. But picking off the spears one by one is the correct play for sure.
does buy Glokta just some more time, however. Still losing the villagers.
Yeah, this is rough. Eco KD 8-0.
The traitor deer got shot. And now this
I guess
Calcus.
he picked off all the fishing ships also, so...
Yeah. Dolphin is super scary. And Dolphin, wow. Well,
Very strong, yeah. He was prepared. I think preparation showed with these strategies, and that's something that I came into this tournament not doing at all. Right, just choose a civ you like, you kind of wing it. You say, oh, Khmer, they have good ballista elephants. Let's make those or something. But he thought about the Khmer bonus going up without buildings to castle, and said, I'm going to capitalize on that to get knights out at a ridiculously early time.
And just like that, the game started as a... Well, just that... I'm not used to having such short sets at all. And you maybe towards the end of the set, like when he was like really starting to lose some villagers, they're getting like more and more killed. The tower goes down. Glokta probably thought like, wow, this player hit like Castle Age again really early, and just I can't fight this. I just gotta quit because it's more of a metal game as well. Because again, Glokta doesn't realize what is behind, like doesn't see Dolphin's base at all. Doesn't really know what's going on. Right? All you know, you're just getting hit by knights everywhere, and you're like, what the?
Yeah, I think there's some basic instincts Glokta can develop here. I have some friends that are still, learning the game from a much lower skill level, and they're often in situations like this, where someone gets knights and Castle Age, and they just don't know how or what to do. And I tell them the only thing that counters knights in Feudal Age is walls.
Yeah, yeah. Just,
It's actually extremely powerful. You can build stone walls here, and those knights will be kept out. I think is a really good tool, kind of an instinct to think about in this situation. You can small wall, right? It doesn't have to be a huge stone
mm-hmm.
investment. He did build the tower instead, which against something with worse pierce armor, I guess like archers or whatever, towers are great. But I think against knights, don't build a tower. Use
Yeah.
that stone for walls. So that's my advice here.
And also maybe like try and mass up some spearmen. Try and like not like get them to be picked off one by one.
Right.
Maybe just like get a bunch of them instead, and just then you know while the knights are
Mass
distracted, try
them,
and hit
keep
them.
them close to the town center
Mm-hmm.
also.
Yeah. So then you can
You're
garrison.
defending, so
Yeah.
it's like just this defender's mindset. Um, but yeah, this was still very fun to
Yeah.
see. And because it was so short, if you'll have me, I could probably co-cast another set.
Sweet. Sounds good. I'll keep you away for work just that extra longer. Just have a longer break as well for you.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I'll have a hard stop in about an hour and 20 minutes.
Sweet. Sounds good. All right. I just gotta update this table. So Dolphin goes through the quickest, shortest quarterfinal I've watched so far. I mean, you know, all the games have been
Yeah, what, what
unpredictable. Huh.
what's the time on that? So this game was 17:23. Do you remember
Yeah,
the
it's
previous
about
one?
27 minutes in total for both games.
He's a wow.
Sumanguru. I'm just going to update the table on stream. Oop, try to. There we go. All right, so yeah, so for Sumanguru, quarterfinals fully done now. Now we've got the semifinals. Xvedejas, right here, right now, versus Filster. How are you feeling about that? Are you ready? You ready? Or don't you want to give
Well,
too much?
yeah, so I'll just say I have been preparing strategies, kind of more thoroughly than I ever have before playing this game. So I have a notebook of all the different maps,
Mm-hmm.
and for each map, I have at least one strategy I think I can execute pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then I have for that strategy, so long as it's not like very Civ specific. Most of them aren't, right? I'll list like 3 or 4 civs that I think I can execute that strategy well on. So regardless of how the drafts go, regardless of the maps, regardless of the civs I have available, I think I'll have some comfortable strategy to play from on each of the maps. So that's my preparation. I need to actually test out some of these strategies
Yeah.
a bit more. Some of them are just on paper. I'm like, oh yeah, based on how I played this map before, I want to be more or less aggressive. So let's just like plan that, right?
Mm-hmm. And of course,
And
we'll have.
I'm
Yep.
curious. I guess you've talked to a lot of players. Do you see other people uh, thinking in these ways or slightly different ways?
A lot just very casual, just like, oh, we'll just have to see what happens next game. Oh no, just
Yeah, yeah,
obviously, they wanna hold the game plan and stuff really close. They're trying not to spill too much, so you know,
yeah. So I'm not going to tell you specifics
yeah,
at all, but
yeah, good,
I
good,
like this opportunity to be a little methodical
yeah.
because I never really have with Age of Empires before.
And also, it's kind of a funny thing because now there's less games. I'm able to cast everything, and now certain people who have like flown under the radar, because I haven't been able to cover everything, and no one's covered them. Now they're gonna get covered. Now it's like, oh no, because now people are gonna see how I actually play, and my strat's gonna be shown and stuff. So, kind of feel like sorry for those players, but also I gotta cast you. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, the semi-finals, Xvedejas versus Filster, and then Twuggle versus Dolphin, best of five. Oh, but like, I'm really interested in both those games as well. Though, I'm emotionally invested in everyone now at this point. I don't want no one to go, but that's just the nature of the beast. Thank you for joining me for
Right,
this
right.
this set.
I'm guessing there's no chance you'll cover that live, though. We had to schedule that, I think, in the middle of the night for you.
I don't even know my own schedule at this point. It's just awake, asleep.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So there may be a chance I will be around, but yeah. So Dev, thank you for
Okay.
joining me for this set. On to the next one we will go.